start a good fight, and we sold all the holes that we had to breathe to make the other one leave. And I loved the way you looked at me, and I missed the way you made me feel.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, welcome to my channel if you're new here. As you can see from behind me, things are looking a little bit different around here, and that is because today I am filming a big bookshelf reorganization. None of these shelves are new. I just decided that I really wanted to change in here. This is for a couple of reasons. One, I feel so dissatisfied with my room. It's really getting me down. I'm working from home and I spend a lot of time in here, so it's important that even if I don't love the space, that it's like a little bit peaceful and like pleasing for me. And currently it's just not that. So I'd like to change the room around, but I've discovered that I'm kind of limited with how much I'm able to do that because I basically need to move out because I've got so much stuff in here. I would love to see distributed throughout my own place, but when it's all in one bedroom, it's kind of a lot. The other thing is that my bookshelves in general were just not it. So partway through this process, I decided that it would be a good idea to film it, which is why we're looking like this. But I will throw up pictures on the screen and whatever. And the main problem with these shelves is that I have one tall Billy bookshelf and I have one half-size Billy bookshelf. And a few months ago, I bought an extra shelf, which I put into the big one. But actually there was not enough spacing throughout this shelf for there to be an extra shelf because how many times can I say shelf? Because there's actually one of these shelves that is built into the bookcase that you can't move. So adding another shelf meant that it was like this big and I couldn't fit anything on there other than books that I could lie flat, which I use as kind of my monthly TBR, books I've recently read, books I want to get to kind of thing. And it just was ugly and horrible. And the other problem with the shelves was that the little shelf below, which you can't see, was all stacked. But it had massive stacks of books, and that was because I had so many books that I wanted to get to, because this bookshelf here is a TBR bookshelf, and that was just ugly and overwhelming and just too much. So what's the obvious solution here? We move the extra shelf from the big bookcase and we take it down here so that I can hopefully, fingers crossed that this actually works, have all my books displayed vertically instead of stacked horizontally. So that's the plan. I'm going to take you through what the shelves used to look like because I feel like that would help us see the difference from like the beginning to the end. If you enjoyed the video along the way, give it a thumbs up, let me know that you did. Without further ado, let's just get onto it because I'm very excited to see some change in here and to feel re-inspired by my shelves. To say I am overwhelmed may very well be a complete understatement. On the floor here I have my trinkets. I didn't think I had this many, and then when I put them all together in a pile I look like I'm a hoarder and things have got severely out of control. So I think what we're going to do, maybe cut down on how many of these are on the shelves. We'll see how that goes. This floor stack is everything that used to be on this little half-size bookcase. So the TBR bookshelf was mostly split up into genre. The bottom shelf had these books on, mostly tall hardcover fantasies, as well as just some short hardcover fantasies, as well as sci-fi fables like Dark Academia mixed with fantasy, I don't know. Basically, didn't really make much sense, but made a little bit of sense to me. The shelf above that had a couple of tall hardcovers, but these are not fantasy. Kind of like miscellaneous genres here, going into small hardcover fantasy and tall paperback. I mean, honestly, what is this organization system? It's not one. And then it had two stacks of fantasy paperbacks, which you can see here, kind of. The shelf above that was the really worrying one because it had so many stacks. This one is all kind of like dystopians into non-fiction. This was my kind of historical fiction, lit fic category, or general fiction, I'm not sure. And then lastly, we had a stack of romance books. Next to those, I had the entire Neapolitan Quartet by Elena Ferrante and my Close Suspected collection. This stack of books is my music books collection. That actually used to live where that green crate is. This is my vinyl collection, and the little crate contains my 7-inch vinyl collection. I much prefer this shelf to be just a shelf for my records and not to have any books on it, so I'm hoping that we can incorporate music books into my TBR bookshelf. Things get a little bit interesting here because these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves of books that were on my big bookcase. The top shelf was kind of decently organised. We had paranormal books into random fantasy series, that is odd one out, but then we went into dystopian, kind of like iconic YA fantasy series. Shelf beneath was random, either standalone fantasy or first books in series I just didn't have the rest for. And then we went into my Folk of the Air series, some more tall hardcover fantasies, and then some short hardcover fantasies, as well as this Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because it's part of the Hunger Games trilogy, but my Hunger Games trilogy are in ratty paperbacks. The next shelf down is my favourite shelf because this is the current genre of books that I'm really kind of invested in at the moment. So we had romance books at the start that led into lit fic, non-fic, historical fiction towards the end. Shelf down was my Sarah J Maas books as well as my Fourth Wing series, the beginning of those. And the one beneath that was mostly Harry Potter with Leigh Bardugo on the end as well. In terms of what I want to do with these shelves, I don't really have any idea. I know for a fact that the Harry Potter shelf needs to remain near the bottom because the books in that are very, very heavy. The US hardcovers of that series weigh a ridiculous amount. I want this shelf to be mostly vertical, like I said, so that's where the biggest change I feel like is going to happen. But other than that, we're just going to see some books kind of moving around and hopefully making a little bit more sense, because I feel like the main problem with the big bookcase is that the genres are just like all over the place. Like, it's a bit weird having random fantasy books on the top shelf, but then having an entire row of fantasy, skipping that with lit fic and non-fic and his-fic, and then going back into fantasy, and then more fantasy on the bottom. So there's our plan for the organisation. I'm not sure how things are going to go, but I'm going to take you along as I kind of muddle it through, and hopefully we should have some better looking bookshelves. I am nervous that the books on the TBR shelf are not going to fit if they're not stacked. That's what I'm worried about, but you know, we'll see what happens. We'll probably have to stack some. I wouldn't mind if there's a mixture of that. I just don't want to have these like towering things, as you can see in this photo, because that was very much not okay. So overwhelming. It makes it look like I had like 1,000 books on my TBR. My physical TBR is bad, but it's not that bad. So like I said, I think we're going to start at the Harry Potter shelf. I believe that was here. Was it here? Yes, it was. I'm going to keep that here. I'm going to keep that looking pretty much the same. I'm thinking I might move the Leigh Bardugo books off the shelf and put those elsewhere, because I just feel like that's a bit of a weird combo. But yeah, that's what we're going to start with. This bookcase is not bolted to the wall. Even more reason to have the heavy stuff towards the bottom so it doesn't fall on me in the night. Because my bed, if you've been seeing as I've been panning around, is directly kind of opposite this. So if this fell down, it would most likely hit me, or at least give me a very big fright in the middle of the night. There's a lot on my Harry Potter shelf that I probably don't need. I definitely don't need, but at this stage in my life where I have space for these things, it's probably fine if I keep them. I'm thinking what we might do is put miscellaneous fantasy books on the shelf, because I feel like that makes more sense than having Leigh Bardugo, because this is just like a magical shelf. Should we do that? Maybe I'll experiment with that. I have a lot of Harry Potter trinkets, so I think I'm going to leave this here for now, and then we might move up and see what we can make another shelf look like. This is my stack of books that I'm currently reading or on my TBR for the month. I think what I'm going to try and do is integrate these into the shelves, because I don't feel like I need them to be separate if I got them written down. I also have August Blue, which I've recently finished. I've got my little French translation of Simple Passion by Annie Ernaux. And I've got 2 new books. This one I bought yesterday. So excited for it, sounds amazing. And then I also have The Prisoner's Throne, so exciting. This is the new release from Holly Black. It is the sequel to The Stolen Heir. I didn't love The Stolen Heir as much as the Folk of the Air trilogy, but the Folk of the Air trilogy is also one of my favourite series of all time, so it had a lot to kind of live up to. I'm either going to read it this month, try and squeeze it into my TBR, or I might get to it in April instead, but we'll see what I do. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how that series looks, because I think it looked really cute on these shelves, because I've got so many of the books and they're all in these beautiful first edition hardcovers. It's really funny. I have a photo that I posted to Pinterest of my Holly Black collection, and it's like a most basic boring photo, but for some reason it's gone kind of viral on Pinterest. I'll put it on the screen. Yeah, I can't explain that one, but I definitely think we're gonna have an upgrade from that with what the shelves will be looking like in the future. barely see me, but basically I want to just say that these two shelves are the two shelves that you're going to see in my videos, so I want them to be my favourite slash the prettiest looking ones. So I think having my favourite genre here is great, but I think we're going to put Sarah J Maas here because she's my favourite fantasy author, and fantasy is still very much a part of my reading life. I really like my little fourth wing display, so I think I'm going to try and keep that looking the same as it did.
I draw on myself for something new.
We have encountered a problem, and that is that I'm in the middle of reading House of Square and Breath, so I hope to finish it kind of soon, and it's not going to fit on the shelf if I organise like this. But I'm kind of thinking that maybe if we took this out, because I do not like it, don't worry, I'm not going to unhaul it. We moved these guys up. Oh, this colour combo is so much nicer actually now. I'm glad I did that already. And then we maybe did something like this. I think so. That way I can grab House of Sky and Breath and it can go nicely in there. Not much has changed about this shelf at all, but I honestly love how it looks. And because I'm interested in keeping the top shelf as my dystopian paranormal books, I think it would make more sense to keep the Caraval trilogy on the next shelf down. Plus I think the colours of these spines will look better with the books here than they will with the books on the top shelf, because these spines are quite jarring, shall we say. So I think I'm going to start this shelf with the Caraval trilogy. I just finished this series and I cannot recommend it enough. It's definitely one of my favourite YA trilogies. I had an idea, and that is that, like I said, oh, you can't even see me, these spines are quite jarring, so I thought we would put some other jarring spines next to them. Yeah, I love that already. That looks great. Because it's like cool tone, red tone, warm tone, cool tone, red tone. I'm really happy with that, which means Six of Crows is going to have to go next door. Oh, this is looking so good already. My extensive Folk of the Air series. Nice. I never really know where to put Cruel Prince Collector's Edition. It doesn't really match the rest of the series, but I obviously want it to go near oh my gosh, what we can do. Yeah, that was 100% the right move. I think we'll put this cover on display, as long as I can fit my kind of extra fancy books on the side there. In terms of our options for the end of the shelf, we could do Margaret Rogerson books. They were here before. I kind of don't like the way they look though, because it's like this weird mix of colours, so maybe we won't do that. And then I've got this stack of random fancy books. Which one would look better? I think maybe the blues, because we just put that blue pot in. Yep, that is a sleigh. I left enough room up here that I can fit the Mortal Instruments series stacked, if that's necessary, because I've got a lot more books on the shelf and I don't know where they're going to go, so maybe we'll do that first. By the way, this stain here, I had like a can sitting on top of the shelf and it leaked because it like corroded over time. It leaked all the way down my bookshelf and damaged my records on the bottom, so that's something we don't want to talk about, but I did want to mention why there's like a really weird dodgy looking stain there. It was a can of like flavoured sparkling water. Don't put bottles on top of your shelves. Don't do it, people. It's not worth it. I kind of feel like I want to get rid of some of the books in this series. I'm so small. The first ones are much better than the last ones, and I love Valentine as a villain, and he's obviously not in the last 3 books. So I think eventually I will unhaul 3 of these, if not all of these, somewhere down the line. But for now, I want to keep the whole series because I love how the spines line up, which is a silly reason, I know, but I can't help it. Are these gonna fit? Oh my gosh, perfect fit. Does this look really stupid?
But there's not really much started to talk to me.
I'm gonna leave this for now because I don't know what to do with it, so we're gonna move elsewhere.
But when I think about it, things wouldn't have turned out differently. But there's not really much going on.
I've had a little play around with the shelves and I think I'm happy with how they look for now. Obviously things will come together a little bit when I put the trinkets on. Looking pretty cute, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very happy with how I've managed to fit everything on and how it still looks kind of like a little bit fresh, because that was the main thing I was kind of going for with this particular bookcase. Now we have to tackle what I have been avoiding, which is this. We have to fit like 10,000 books on there. Wish me luck. I just realised I forgot to put The Prisoner's Throne on the Holly Black shelf. This is a big moment. I think it's gonna fit. Wow, that was truly everything and more. Look at the shelf. This is just the most pleasing thing to me. Look at the series. Come on, so good. So good. 100% because of the cover designer and nothing to do with me, but you know how it is. I thought I'd talk you through how I'm thinking these shelves are going to go. So obviously I added in the extra shelf and I moved things around a little bit so that hopefully I can keep short paperbacks on this shelf. That should work and I shouldn't have to do too much stacking. This is a little bit stressful, but I think what we're going to do is we're just going to, I think I'm going to start with my tall hardcovers because I think they're going to still have to, let me just move you down a bit. I think they're still going to have to live here because, like I said, I don't want bookshelves falling over, especially as this one actually has some quite expensive speakers and, you know, items that I don't want to get ruined basically on top. This unfortunately has to be my journals, they just don't fit anywhere else. We're going to work around that and hopefully I have the room. I'm really not optimistic about this. That's the word I want to use, so we'll see how things go. I know this is a mix of genres, but I would really like to have all of my tall hardcovers on this bottom shelf, partly because I need to because of the fact I've added another shelf in, but also I just think they look better being organised by height. We'll also do this weirdly tall paperback. This is a new release and it was from Australia and they come out in tall paperbacks instead of hardcovers. So I think I'm kind of happy with this shelf. I feel like I can't do anything with these books until I read them, obviously, and I can move them to a different place. For the sake of wanting to keep genres together, we're going to make this fantasy shelf and we'll try and fit as much of my fantasy as possible on here. I managed to fit most things I want on that shelf. I did kind of want to fit this on there, but also think that the pink spine would look really, really weird. And then I have a couple of hardcover fantasies that I'm considering unhauling. I don't love having the tall paperbacks on a separate stack. If it's what we've got to do, then it's what we've got to do. Right now, my battery's flashing, so my camera's going to die at any minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go make some lunch, have that, charge up my battery while I'm doing that, and then we'll come back. Maybe the lighting will be a little bit different. It's the middle of the day, so I'm going to try and come back to you as soon as possible. But for now, I think we've made really good progress, and I have slightly better faith in actually being able to fit everything on the shelf. But I'm not going to say anything yet because There's a lot. And I also want to fit my music books on there, of course, as well. Okay everybody, we're back. Hopefully the lighting's not too different, and also that I don't have food around my face because I just had a really big bowl of pasta. I made like a gochujang pasta. It was so yum. I've been gone for like an hour and a half, a couple of hours. My battery says it's still not finished charging, but I think we've got enough charge to finish off the shelf, do the trinkets, close up the video. So let's continue. I'm pretty sure that we've done it. I'm so happy with them, they look great. But before I give you the full overview, I'm going to quickly put the trinkets on. I'm so excited about it. It's turned out so much better than I imagined it would. And yeah, let's make it really pretty with the trinkets. This is my little Jellycat collection. I do have more of them, but these are my 3 ones that I want to keep on the shelf. Just I've collected all my Harry Potter trinkets together because I thought we should decorate that shelf because it's probably looking the most bare out of all of them because we've got this big gap here, which is great actually because I haven't finished the series yet, so when I eventually get those books I will be able to add them to the shelf. So I've got a jar which is full of the little Funko Pops that came in the advent calendar. In front of that I'm going to put a chocolate frog box, and then we have my little Funko Pops of Harry and Sirius, and it's Harry from the Prison of Azkaban because together forever, you know. I have the official replica of the Time Turner. That was a gift from my little brother, and that just squeezes in there. Perfect. And then we also have the cauldron, which I'm hoping can go next door. Yeah. I have 2 chocolate frog cards. We've got Dumbledore, and then we've also got Lockhart, who's just an icon and legend in himself. I've got my little dragon. We'll put it over there. We've got Hedwig. So there you go. That's my Harry Potter shelf. Last but not least, we need to finish up the trinkets on this bookshelf. My Jellycat's on here now. Got the plant up here and the little elephant, but I also wanted to add some other things as well. First up, my little TBR cup. That's what I use for TBR jar picks, my reads for the month. If we film 2 with those, I'll have them linked below. To alarm anybody, but I think we've finished. I'm so excited. I'm gonna quickly talk you through the shelves. I didn't promise you, but I said that I aim to film a bookshelf tour this year, so very soon I'll probably talk you through the shelves, but I did want to give you a little overview of things that have changed and show you where I put the trinkets and things like that. Here are the 2 bookshelves. I am so happy with them. This doesn't even look like it's in my room because it's just so much better. It's such a level up. It's kind of funny we're starting with the top shelf because it's my least favorite. Also, don't mind what's happening on top because that's all going to change. This is not it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Mortal Instruments. Then we've got paranormal into dystopian, and then a couple of fantasy titles. So it's kind of a little bit random still, but there's some titles in here that I want to reread and then potentially get rid of, things like that. So this shelf will definitely change over time, but for now I don't hate it. Down here we have a couple of Sweater Weather candles, these are from Bath & Body Works. I have a pin, which was like a pre-order pin that I got with the Wicked King. Forks from Harry Potter, but I'm using it as the Firebird in Rowan and Rising, if you know, you know. And then we've got a mouse up there for no reason. Gorgeous little toadstools are in this book vase. And then we've got my bunny jelly cat. This is all fantasy, so it's Lee Bardugo into Holly Black into Random Fantasies. Down here we've also got fantasy, so I've finally been able to put my fantasy shelves together, which I love. We've got the Fourth Wing series into Sarah J Maas. Down here is my non-fic into lit-fic into romance into his-fic. I like this shelf actually. It turned out probably better than I thought it might have. I have a lot of books on here, so I can't really do much with them. And then finally we have my Harry Potter shelf. So it's Harry Potter into Random Fantasies. I think it's very, very cute. 12-inch records and my 10-inch and then my 7-inch, as well as my little record cleaner kit. This bookshelf is my actual dream. Look at it. It's genuinely my favorite thing ever. My journals, and then we go into hardcover tall fantasy books as well as some random ones. This shelf up here is more fantasy, so we've got short hardcovers in the corner with my Jellycat into fantasy paperbacks, kind of fancy, slightly dystopian. I love how that looks. It's very kind of satisfying the way it fits in there. Up here we've got hisfic, litfic kind of thing into romance books. I love the colours. Romance books are so colourful. A little candle, I love that one. I've got a little soap dish, and then these are my tall romance paperbacks as well as My Body, because it's a bit of a different genre from the rest of the stuff up here. And then this shelf is my music books. We managed to fit them in. I'm so happy about that. And then we go into non-fic and a bit of lit-fic, essay collections and short story collections, and a random dystopian book. And then my Elena Ferrante books on the side there. And here's one more overview of the bookshelves. Friends, thank you so much for sticking around and making it all the way to the end of the video. I had the most fun doing this. It was slightly stressful at the beginning, and then things just kind of fell together as we went throughout the process. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's how I can tell that you did, and subscribe if you like my kind of vibe and you want to stick around. I'm sure I'll be filming one of these in the future because constantly reading, constantly purchasing books. By the way, I did the first half of this on World Book Day, so happy World Book Day to everybody. It's a lovely day to celebrate the thing that we adore. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending some time with me. Sending my love to you from here to wherever you may be in the world. I post videos twice weekly, so I'll see you very, very soon in a couple of days for a new one. Bye bye.